and then told me who was speaking. And of course, I love Georgia, but when I heard my assistant Erica was speaking, I told her, well, Rebecca and I will have to come and surprise you, Erica. Now, let's talk a little bit about women in charge. Ladies, I believe there's no better time in the history of mankind for women and opportunities than right now. No better time. Just think about it. And I'm 66, fixing to be 67, so let's go back in time. My lovely wife, Rebecca, fixing to be 46 years, Rebecca, and George will remember this. In those days when y'all graduated, there wasn't much. As a matter of fact, in Rebecca's family, she was expected to get married and have children. That hasn't been that long ago. Has not been that long ago. Fast forward to today, with the things that are happening, and you know what I'm talking about. You have never, ever had the opportunities you have today to excel, take charge, and be leaders. And y'all need to seize this opportunity because we need you. There are industries out there actively pursuing women in aeronautics, aerospace, and a lot of other industries where they're underserved, that is still white male-dominated industries. And y'all can fill a number of voids. So I'm here to challenge you. Do not let this opportunity slip by. Let's don't go backwards. When I say let's, I mean all of us. I've got two lovely daughters. I have 3 great granddaughters. And the future for them is bright. And I expect nothing but the best out of them. They can be anything they want to be. And Rebecca and I don't put limitations on them. Anything they want to be. Y'all can be anything you want to be. Now, in introducing Erica, she will tell you, I hope she does, about her background, but she's my assistant now, but she is not going to be my assistant long. It's another thing she wants to do along her pathway to become what she wants to be, whatever that is. But I hope she tells you she worked in Washington for, I would say, the most powerful woman in Washington for a year. She'll tell you about that, who she works for. She will also tell you that was a really great experience, but she loves working for city government a little bit better. Not because of me, but because city government's just a little less stressful. Just a tiny bit. So, that's why Rebecca and I came tonight, because when you spend as much time with somebody as I do, good evening. You get that, and we've grown to love Erica. She's almost part of our family. So, without further ado, Erica Page, you come up and give your little speech.
That was so nice. Oh, hold on. Hello, how are you all doing? Great, y'all have to have a little bit more enthusiasm. Well, I have some notes. I'm going to try to keep this brief. First and foremost, thank you, Mayor Jensen, for introducing me today in a phenomenal experience that I've had in being your assistant. It has been one of the most rewarding, teachable moments I've had in my life. It's made me so much more aware of my own strength and abilities, and made me much more confident in who I am and who God is preparing me to become. And I am so thankful for the grace to do that. underneath you. That was a very truthful statement. And also to Molly, I have a special place in my heart for Molly. She has been ambitious since the moment I met her, which it was before she was on teen council, and before she was interning with Parks, I think, but we had a random one-off conversation after a council meeting at dinner, and since then we have developed, and I am incredibly proud of you today. This is not easy to do. You've done well. So I'll tell you a little bit about me, and then I have just a few nuggets for you all, especially the young women in the audience on your journey. My name is Erica Page, as Mayor Jensen said, and I am a small town girl from Hattiesburg, Mississippi, that grew up in a single parent household, the youngest of 3 girls. And I have a mother who instilled wonderful things in me, but one of the things she instilled was, you have every capability to do everything that everyone else can do as long as you do the work. And that has stuck with me, it has helped me, it has given me faith in the midst of a lot of hardships that I've had. But I went to Spelman College on a wing and a prayer, literally. And graduated with my bachelor's in political science in 2013. And I went on to work in DC for Nancy Pelosi. And it was an incredible experience, but it was very, very difficult. And I do believe that a portion of that was because I was a woman and a minority woman at that. I was the first African American intern to be placed in the Democratic cloakroom. That cloakroom is where it's sort of the office for legislative business, if you will, and there's one for the Democrats, one for the Republicans, and you have to be appointed to be in that room because they're taking a lot of discretion. I had to sign a clause that I would not, talk about it on social media, and you could only get in that room if you were appointed and if you were a congressperson or one of their executive staff members. That's not important. So it was difficult. It was probably one of the hardest things I've ever done in my life, but that's kind of what leads me to my first point, and that is a disclaimer about fear. Fear would have held me back from accepting that call, and it would have said, why me? I can't go do that. This isn't cut out for me. They're going to give me, I had no idea at the time that it would be that hard, but they're going to give me a hard time. I'm not going to make it there. But I went to DC with fear in my back pocket. And that's what I want you ladies to do. Fear is your first indicator that you're where you're supposed to be. And it's the only thing that will really stop you, because as long as you have a brain to learn and a willingness to learn, you can do anything in the world. But what you tell yourself is what will stop you. And the root of what you tell yourself, if you tell yourself, I cannot, is most likely fear. So my disclaimer about fear is one of my favorite quotes: feel the fear, but do it anyway. So any industry, any profession that you want, you have to feel the fear, but you've got to do it anyway. And if you don't feel any fear, do something bigger. That's my second point. Dream big, edit, dream again, and dream bigger. Give yourself the grace to grow, because you'll change. When I was a sophomore in high school, I wanted to be a cardiovascular surgeon. Wholeheartedly. My mother took me to Baylor because I wanted to major in biology. And I walked the campus and I saw myself there. And that's not the plan that happened for me. You all just heard my story. But I edited that dream, and when it changed, I didn't allow it to stumble me. I worked through it. And you will have moments that are discouraging, and you'll have moments where you feel lost. That's inevitable. But my mother always says, if you don't give up, you'll win. So when you feel that dream taking a different course, combat fear. Again, that's rooted in fear. But combat fear and edit that dream. And then when you edit it, make it a little bit better the next time. So that brings me to my last point. My last point is life is a journey, not a destination. Purpose isn't meant to be singular, and you can find it anywhere, in anything. I wholeheartedly believe that every single day that you have is filled with some sort of purpose. That purpose may have been you sitting beside the person you sat beside, your best friend at lunch today, and maybe he or she needed an encouraging word or a laugh, and you provided that. That's as big of a purpose as being President of the United States of America. But you have to see that, and you have to validate that within yourself, because when life tells you, I'm not being purposeful, and I'm not where I'm supposed to be, and gosh, I want to be somewhere else. I said that to myself if you can't tell. But goodness, gosh, why can't I? Why isn't this? You've got to take a second and see the purpose in the little moments of every day. So in my conclusion, I'll say to you, as young women, there will be opportunities that were created or will be created without you in mind. Yes, without you in mind. That's okay. Minds can be changed, so change it. It will be hard. You may get discouraged, but remember the disclaimer about fear. Let it fuel you, not diminish you. The room may be dark for women, but you are light. Illuminate. Thank you.
Great job. That was amazing. Amazing face.